Today we are going to get advice for you from Spirit at the time you find this video. And the way we're going to do that is through a 3-card spread. So the first card is going to represent what Spirit is asking you, or maybe this is more of like a request from Spirit reading. We'll call it that, request from Spirit reading. And what Spirit is asking you to let go of, release, surrender. And the second card is going to represent what Spirit is asking you to maintain. The third card will represent what Spirit is asking you to move towards, implement, so on and so forth. So here we go. First card that came out, card 1, is Page of Cups, upright. Card 2, please. Requests from Spirit. That's too many. Requests from Spirit for the viewer. At the time they view this video, what are you asking them to maintain? Ooh, the 3 of Wands. And then finally, card 3. What are you asking them? What are you asking them to move towards, to implement? Even maybe to get curious about. Card 3, please. Ooh. Too many, but 6 of coins, 6 of pentacles came out for card 3. So here we go. Once again, Page of Cups, card 1, what Spirit is requesting that you let go of. Card 3, or excuse me, card 2, which is the 3 of Wands, is what Spirit is asking you to maintain. And card 3, which is the 6 of Pentacles, is what Spirit is asking you to consider implementing. Wow, so these are definitely giving me a beautiful, cohesive message or story that I'm going to try to speak out here. So let's start with the card 1, what Spirit is requesting that you let go of. Page of Cups comes out. And of course, the Page of Cups can be a really beautiful card in different readings, right? But if it's showing up in a reading in a position where, a position in the spread where Spirit is asking you to consider letting go of something, it has more of a negative connotation, right? And so the essence that's coming to me with this card is a sort of like immaturity with relationship matters. Or I was going to say emotional matters, but what came out of my mouth was relationship matters. So we probably want to pay attention to that. So the beauty of pages is they're kind of, I always see them as like a willingness to be inexperienced in something. You know, they're more of kind of like a curious beginner's mind. And so there's a lot of beauty in that, right? But again, if Spirit is asking you to let go of this, it's almost as if I'm feeling Spirit wanting you to ground your power a bit more in what you know is healthy when it comes to emotional matters and relationship matters. So I'm getting the sense that you're not new to the healing journey. You're not new to maybe cleaning up some emotional, or I was going to say, I'm interchanging emotional and relationship in my mind and then what I'm speaking out, which is very interesting. So maybe what would like to be said, because that's happened twice now, is maybe really truly considering whatever emotional matters have been or are currently difficult for you, most likely, whether they seem to or not, probably at the root have some sort of relational basis. So let's say you're dealing with a health issue, or maybe you're dealing with a money issue or a career issue. What might be the actual case is that the root of those issues is more of a relational dynamic issue, how you're showing up in relationships. And so there's something here in terms of letting go that it's like letting go of the beginner's mind, or thinking that you're like I'm almost getting the sense, and now that relationships are coming up and out of my mouth, it's almost like maybe people you're dealing with in relationships almost treat you like this, like you don't really know what you're talking about or something, and then you are often considering their points of views more strongly than your own, when really you may have done a lot of work and research and learning, or at least more than some other people in your life in this arena. And Spirit is really asking you to let go of that idea that you are inexperienced, or Spirit is really wanting to more and more ground you in what you know and have you stand in your power. And with that being said, let's look at the difference between these two cards, the Page of Cups and the Three of Wands. So again, card 1, the Page of Cups, is what Spirit is asking you to let go, release. And card 2 is what Spirit is asking you to maintain. And there's a groundedness and a power in this Three of Wands. And what I really love about the Three of Wands, like one of my favorite interpretations of it, and it's definitely that this energy, my favorite interpretation of it is coming through in this reading, which is surveying your options. Okay? So I don't just mean surveying your options with relationships, although that might be part of the process for you. But there's a surveying your options just in life. And isn't that a nice grounded energy? Because I think more and more when we are, have been on the healing route and we're not so much in survival mode, we realize not only do we have like space in our nervous system to survey our options, but along with that, or in tandem with that, or maybe it's the same thing, we understand more and more that we are worthy of surveying our options, right? And again, just like really pay attention to the difference between these two cards. In this energy, or in this reading, the energy of the Page of Cups is more reckless, isn't the right word, but what's kind of coming to me, it's like immature. Okay, and I'm not trying to call you out as an immature person. So hear me out. More what I'm saying is like you have a maturity to you that's more in alignment with this Three of Wands. Because again, this is what Spirit is asking you to maintain. You already know this feeling. And I think more and more Spirit is asking you to let go of the idea about yourself that you don't have the right to survey your options and make wiser and wiser choices, right? And as I'm speaking all that out, I'm just noticing how this is sort of a gold color in the sky, which I've never really thought about with this Three of Wands card. And then the brown and the wands. And so I just recorded a messages from Spirit reading literally right before I recorded this one. And there was like a gold brown essence, and there was this idea of wisdom and groundedness that came out in that reading. So I'm definitely getting the sense that there might be something in that reading for you as well. So if you're intrigued, I will link that reading up in the description box of this video. But there's just this beauty, like I'm just loving that the Three of Wands is showing up as something to maintain right in the center of your reading. I think the difference, again, between the Page of Cups and the Three of Wands is extremely telling. And then let's talk about what Spirit is asking you to move towards. This card 3, which is the Six of Pentacles, which I absolutely love. And the quote unquote standard interpretation I say quote unquote because it's just like my standard interpretation of the Six of Pentacles. But how I typically interpret the Six of Pentacles is how, again, it's coming through in this reading. And that is a rebalancing of how you're getting your physical needs met. So pentacles to me, more than just money, they mean the reality, they represent to me the realities of being human, the realities of getting our needs met as physical humans. So it includes things like money, but it also includes labor and time and work and effort and things of that nature. And sixes in the tarot to me typically have a rebalancing sort of energy to it. So with all that being said, again, I typically interpret this is Six of Pentacles as a rebalancing of how you're getting your physical needs met. So that is what Spirit is inviting you to consider implementing is changes in the ways that you're getting it. I'm just slowing down because there's some words. So what's coming through is not only implementing changes, but there's seems to be maybe some assumptions that are being made about just kind of the flow of your life and the people that are involved with it and how they're a part of your flow. And those assumptions are likely from our culture and from your upbringing and things of that nature. But I think Spirit is asking you to pay attention to recognize that a lot of those are assumptions and they're not working, and that you have the right baby step by baby step to implement something new, because you're worthy of surveying your options, and you clearly have already you've done so much healing that you already often embody this Three of Wands energy, which is beautiful. And again, I think that's why Spirit is asking you to let go of the idea of yourself that like you don't know what you're doing or you don't know what you're talking about, just in life in general, but then also specifically in the idea of emotions and relating and healing and things of that nature. I think there is I think you've done enough inner work where there is a strong barometer in you. There's a strong compass in you of what is healthy and what isn't. And I think like really trusting that. And then there's like this step that Spirit is asking you to take where you're grounding that health into your everyday experience. Do you know what I mean? Because like the Three of Wands is an immensely beautiful card, right? Surveying your options, not in survival mode anymore. You're considering your choices with logic and kindness, and you're surveying your options, right? But there is a difference between the Three of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, right? But I love just this progression, because it's like, because here we have a kind of, immaturity sort of energy. Here is I'm wise, I'm worthy, I'm surveying my options. And here is I am grounding that wisdom and that worthiness into reality. And so that's really the energy I'm getting with the Six of Pentacles, is this invitation for you to baby step by baby step, but diligently, consistently, persistently, persistently, but really those are the words that come to me. Ground that wisdom into reality. So have it not just be in your head, right? Have it not just be you knowing it. And again, there's such beauty in the Three of Wands, but there's a difference between the Three of Wands surveying and then having lived experience of your health, right? Having lived experience of what you know is healthy. That seems to be what, like the standard that Spirit is requesting that you have, that your life, the nitty gritty, the mundanes, the day in and day out, the moment in and moment out, all those moments of your life experience should, or as a North Star, should align with it, in essence, a feeling of joy and health. Now, of course, like that is a North Star goal, meaning we're going to have many moments of our life that don't align with health and don't align with joy. That is a part of the process of healing and cleaning up choices that we made when we were unconscious. But that's also just the part of the process of being human. But I feel like the message that wants to come through, the request that Spirit has, is don't let go of the North Star, though. Do you know what I mean? So essentially, don't normalize dysfunction is really, I think, what wants to come through. And see dysfunction for what it is, an opportunity to let go of immature thinking that isn't working, an opportunity to survey your options, and then an opportunity to rebalance the tangible aspects of your life, ground the wisdom of your healing into the reality of your living.